In the last episode, we survived a major scare from the St. Louis Blues. We had to come back from 3-1 down to win Game 7, and we did just that. And now it sets the stage for a showdown in the second round as we take on the 48-win Minnesota Wild. Yes, one win separated us and them in the regular season. As it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. Second in the NHL, third in the NHL. Of course, Pittsburgh ran away with the President's Trophy. And again, a look at the second round matchups is, of course, we play Minnesota. Anaheim plays Dallas. Pittsburgh moved on as well. They'll play Philadelphia. Easy for me to say. Boston plays Washington. We do have one area of concern. Actually, we have multiple in fairness, but the major area of concern is that we are starting this series without Dylan Strome. He will likely only miss this first game, but due to the nature of the injury, if he were to not be 100% for Game 2, he would not play. I wouldn't risk it. So as a result, these are the line combinations as we begin this series against the Wild. Kane, Doc, DeBrincat, Kubalik, Taves, Nylander, Barrett, Jenner, Carpenter, Quenneville, Nosek, and Entwistle. Defensively, we're going to go with Boqvist, Jones, Mata, Pulock, the Pollock, Ryan, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and Ian Mitchell. Thomas Greiss has to start. I mean, he dug us out of a bad situation. I'm tempted to give it back to Corey Crawford, but for now, we ride the hot hand with Thomas Greiss. I mean, you think back to the real-life situation. I mentioned Scott Darling in the last episode, and the real-life situation, of course, where Darling took over for Crawford. The Hawks won the series anyway. Crawford takes back over, and I believe that was 2015, where they beat Tampa in the final. If I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Now it's gonna drive me crazy. Scott Darling. What a guy. Not playing professional hockey this year, of course. He didn't play at all. April 15th recorded his win. Yep, that was April 15th, 2015. So while, in theory, Corey Crawford could go on to do the same thing, almost a decade later, we're going to trust Thomas Greiss for now, just to ride the hot hand and try to make the best of it. Now, one thing I want to mention in the comments, or from the comments of the last episode, is that there was some pondering as to whether or not, if we win the Cup this year, should I be allowed to then control the team next year or the draft? Do I get a reward for winning? I'm not against it, but also let's not jinx it and let's not count our chickens before they hatch. And at the end of the day, at the very least, my reward if I win a Stanley Cup is not having Mike Milbury drag me down to the point where I couldn't win a cup in the first place. That's my reward, is overcoming the AI, tanking the team. If we have another reward beyond that, hey, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, because for now, we have to get past this Wild team. And what an interesting team it is. We start off with Kirill Kaprizov, 4 goals in 5 games. Alex Galchenyuk and Kevin Fiala rocking a 90 overall right now due to the Morale system. Second line, Zach Parise, Ryan Donato, and Matt Zuccarello. Very effective line for them in the first round. Third line, Jordan Greenway, Trent Frederick, and Matt Boldy. So they have some size on that line. Jesus. Fourth line, Joel Eriksson Ek, Victor Rask, and Bobby Ryan. Team speaks for itself. It's a good team, at least for the forwards. Defensively, it doesn't get much easier for us, I gotta be honest. Jared Spurgeon, alongside Matt Dumba. Will Butcher on the second pairing with Ryan Suter, and Eric Goodbranson. I always want to say Goodbranson. For those who don't get it, a certain former Canadian hero who isn't talked about much anymore called him Goodbranson once upon a time. Although some people would argue he was never a hero and he was always a bit of a guy. Anyway, Kalen Addison. Why am I treating Don Cherry like Voldemort? I have no idea. Anyway, the goaltender, Jordan Binnington, and Jake Allen. Well, if you can't beat them, steal their goaltending. Binnington and Allen. The healthy scratches, Greg Patarin, Luke Kunin, who's injured, and Brennan Manel. Now, we obviously need to see how long Kunin's out for, because that forward core was already good to begin with, but knowing that they could have had Luke Kunin on the roster scares me even more. Minnesota will be without Luke Kunin for the rest of the season due to concussion issues. So we dodge a bullet there in terms of the overall matchup. And of course, Rockford's in the next round as well, but our main focus will be this series here. We have the advantage on offense. The defense is even, and they have the edge in terms of goaltending, at least. In theory, time will ultimately tell. I think it's time to begin this series. So let's do it. Game 1 of the second round. We take on Minnesota. 4 wins down. We need 12 more. But again, let's not count our chickens before they hatch. First period and an advantage for Minnesota. Kevin Fiala with the goal. Kirill Kaprizov scores on the power play, but Olli Mata is able to get one back. They outshot us. They outscored us, but we're still within striking distance. Second period, and case in point, there you go. Kirby Dach and Patrick Kane. Now again, Patty Kane was a little bit quiet for the first half of the first round, and then he woke up. We need more of that from him. He continues that bit of a hot streak. Dach with the goal as well. He's had a great postseason. They're still out shooting us, but we now have the advantage on the scoreboard as we head to the third period, and it doesn't last for long as Matt Zuccarello scores. Alex Galchenyuk scores less than 2 minutes later. 5-on-3 power play. We tie it. Dominic Kubalik. 4-all. Power play here again for the Hawks. Extended power play. Good Lord, we couldn't capitalize. That's scary. 5 minutes left here. Bobby Ryan scores. Alex DeBrincat ties it. 5 goals apiece. And we are going to overtime. Good Lord. Goaltending? What is that? We go to OT. Obviously, I'd prefer us to win. Time will tell if that is the case. Oh boy. In terms of predictions, I don't even know, man. I mean, my only saving grace right now, knock on wood, is that they haven't had a defenseman score, because Lord knows Justin Falk scored enough goals for all the other defensemen in the playoffs in the last episode. Here we go. No predictions, just hope, optimism, maybe not expectations. Power play, we failed. That's not good, and it's about halfway through the overtime. I am not a defenseman. Matt Dumba on the 79th shot of the game. Wins it. 6-5 in overtime for the Wild. And Thomas Greiss may have just lost his opportunity. Damn. Doc, great game. Absolutely. Oh my God. Fourth line and the third pairing was abysmal. Thomas Greiss wasn't great either. 6 goals allowed for him. And with Dylan Strome potentially coming back into the lineup, Ian Mitchell has been hurt, which might explain the issues that Vlasic had, depending, or Vlasic, whatever, that he might have had. Dylan Strome is healthy, but that's really not where we want to be. Rockford takes game 1 over the Chicago Wolves. Again, they had a great regular season. So looking here, initially I had called up Dennis Gilbert on defense. I'm going to be sending him back down. We know Malcolm Subban's leaving. I'm going to leave him there, though. It's not really all that important. Let's send down Gilbert again. Let him play in the AHL postseason, to be honest. Well, actually, I might call him back up because Mitchell's a righty, which means we'll have... Yeah, I need a lefty. And that's Gilbert, because I'm not going to play Borowiecki. It's just too big of a risk with the penalties. He is a lefty. You'd think, like, okay, maybe the physical play would be helpful. He has a 64 in discipline. There's just no way I can risk playing him. He only had 2 penalty minutes in 6 games, though. Mark Borowiecki, do not make a fool out of me. Do not make a fool out of me. Did I bring back Ryan Carpenter for next year? I genuinely don't remember. I don't remember if I did. He's going to be a healthy scratch regardless. To be honest, if I piss him off by sending him down, so be it. He'll be playing top-line minutes. That'll make Rockford even better. It's just now more a matter of, hey, you get to play. So back to edit lines. I meant to see what that extended power play was about, by the way, in the last game, and I completely forgot to look. Carpenter, swap you with Altai Barmakian. Get the boost there. And yeah, Gilbert's on the top pairing with Mitch Reinke, so that makes that team even better. Who's actually Rockford's goaltender right now? Not that they need a boost. It's Kevin Lankinen. Okay. We could send down Malcolm Subban if we really wanted to. As it is, we know the goaltending. Actually, here. Because we know the goaltending and what this team's going to look like next year. There's not much of a cap, not much of a beneficial cap situation going on. I don't know if Corey Crawford's going to start. So we are going to go with Kane, Doc, DeBrincat. Let's go with Taves, Strome, Nylander. Yeah, Kubalik's done well, though. 6 points. Somebody's the odd man out of that top 6. I think it's going to be Strome, or it's going to be Taves. And we're going to go Barrett, Taves, Jenner. Give Evan Barrett an opportunity to get back in after a brutal start. Maybe. We know he doesn't work too well with Taves. You know what? Screw it. Let's try something else here. Let's go Strome on the left, Taves in the middle. I think Jenner has he actually doesn't have the best face-offs of the bunch. But he is the most defensive. Let's go Kubalik, Jenner, Barrett, and then of course the fourth line stays the same. Oh boy. Okay. Well, we cannot have Vlasic and Borowiecki on the same line. And I really don't want to mess things up amongst the righties here, but we're going to do what we can. Oh, God. Okay. Mata, Jones, Borowiecki, Pilak, Vlasic, and Boqvist. Boqvist really doesn't fit in well where he is. Jones isn't a great fit there. Jones is only a good fit on that second pairing. Pulak works there. Boqvist kind of evens out. Mata works perfectly on that top pairing. I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. We're going to go Mata, Pulak, Borowiecki, Jones, Vlasic, and Boqvist. Corey Crawford will get the start in Game 2. If he blows it, we go back to Grice for Game 3. So we get a healthy player back in Strome, but we lose Ian Mitchell. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, overall, we see a better goaltending performance, at least on our side. First period, and the advantage to Minnesota. Will Butcher scored on the power play. Again, they outshot us and outscored us in the first. Second period, and it got a little bit better. DeBrincat on the power play. Nylander gave us the lead. It didn't last for long, though. Trent Frederick scores with 53 seconds left in the period, so we are tied, but a pretty big shot advantage, +9 for the Minnesota Wild. As we go to the third, it is anybody's game. Early power play. This time we take advantage. Patrick Kane gives us the lead. Power play for the Wild is killed off. So right now, it's so far so good. Now the power play here for the Hawks. That goes to waste. 8 minutes left. Evan Barrett, welcome back to the lineup, buddy. As Dominic Kubalik scores as well. For the second straight game, we've put up 5 on Binnington. This time, though, the goaltending... Okay, Corey. This time, though, the goaltending was where it needed to be. Kaprizov scores late, but a 5-3 final in favor of the Hawks. We at least walk away with a split, and I cannot believe my eyes. Marc-Edouard Vlasic just earned a first-star performance in the playoffs. Oh boy, believe in yourselves, kids, because truly, anything is possible. Kevin Garnett said it. Marc-Edouard Vlasic just proved that's true. Boqvist, Nosek, Entwistle, not a great game, but overall, Corey Crawford was not spectacular, but he did enough. The offense was there for the second game in a row. We have 10 goals in 2 games, yet somehow we're walking away with a 1-1 split. As brutal as that is. Philly up 2-0 on Pittsburgh. Boston up 2-0 on Washington. And both Western Series are with a 1-1 split. Let's see what happens here. Game 3 in Minnesota. We're obviously going to leave the team the same after that victory. Let's hope for the best. First period, and for the first time in this series, the advantage goes our way at the end of the first. So all 3 games, the road team walk away with the advantage at the end of the opening 20 minutes as Alex Nylander scores. Only allowed 3 shots. 8 shots to 3 in that first period. Second period, we add to it 2 goals from Mackenzie Entwistle in 1 minute and 56 seconds. Now, Kevin Fiala does get them on the board with 3 seconds remaining in the period. 17 shots to 15 now. But Mackenzie Entwistle on the 4th line stepping up. And we're looking good. We're looking real good. Imagine if his name was Entwistle. I just realized that. I'm 99% sure it's Entwistle, but imagine if it was Entwistle. If it was Entwistle, my world would be turned upside down. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Please don't be Entwistle. Third period. Hit him with the twist. Oh, we're up 3-1 now. 3-2. Galchenyuk scores. Power play for the Wild. 5-on-3. We kill it off somehow. Some way. Power play for the Hawks goes to waste. 5 minutes remaining now in the period. Can we hold on? Can Crawford shut the door? He can. I was not certain of it until the final few seconds ticked away because we have seen late goals. We hold on. We take Game 3, our second consecutive victory. Mackenzie Entwistle. The Entwistle. Mackenzie Entwistle, 2 goals. Crawford with a much better performance. The best goaltending performance we've seen in this series thus far. And all in all, it makes for another one in the win column. Third line and the top pairing struggled, but we got the job done. A 2-1 series lead now. Dallas up over Anaheim, and Philly 1 win away from knocking out Pittsburgh, which is insane. Boston up 2-1 on Washington as we prepare for Game 4. A chance to take a commanding series lead, or the Wild will be tying this series up and essentially making this series a best of 3 from that point on. Who will gain the advantage? If it's anything to go off of, it's going to be us. First period, it's not us. That streak's broken. 2 power play goals, Jordan Greenway and Matt Zuccarello. Not a great start. They doubled us up in shots. They have us doubled up on the board. Ugh. Second period, it doesn't get much better. Matt Boldy made it 3. Evan Barrett gets another goal, which is promising, but we're down 3-1, 28-17. As we start the third period, not the performance we were hoping for. Power play for the Wild. They score. Zach Parise. Must have been a major. And I don't see a comeback happening here. Power play for Chicago goes to waste. Damn. Not a big fan. Not a big fan of this. Damn. 4-1 loss in Game 4. The Wild have tied this series up at 2 apiece. You hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. At least, if you're rooting for success, only 3 players are the point in this game, of course. Okay. Well, now we regroup. It's anybody's series. We came back from 3-1 down before, and we could come back again here. I would hope. I mean, granted, the series is tied. There's no need for a comeback, at least not yet. As Dallas is now tied with Anaheim at 2 apiece. Anaheim winning in Game 4. Pittsburgh stays alive, and Washington wins. So right now, 3 series at 2-2, and 1-3-1 split. Game 5. No lineup changes. We're just going for it. Let's see what happens. First period is scoreless for the first time. 12 shots to 11 in their favor. Second period is not scoreless. Patrick Kane gets another one. 20 shots to 18. And we go to the third, up by 1. Power play early on, though, for Minnesota that we kill off. We get a power play of our own. That also goes to waste. And then Will Butcher ties it. Damn. And then Matt Boldy scores. Double damn. We are in a bit of trouble here. 5 minutes left. It's not looking good. Power play. Yes, it had to be a goal, and it was. Dylan Strome. Are we destined for overtime? Yes, we are. For the second time in this series, extra hockey is on deck. And this could easily dictate the series. Game 5 of a tied 2-2 split. Whoever scores the next goal will have a chance to end this series in Minnesota for Game 6. We need one of our big names to show up. Taves, Kane, Nylander, Kubalik, Doc, anybody. Please. Here we go. Overtime. Minnesota won before, but Chicago is going to win this time. Alex Nylander, 1 minute and 3 seconds into the overtime on the 61st shot of the game. Wins it. Corey Crawford, fantastic. Alex Nylander and Patrick Kane scoring goals. And we will be the ones with the opportunity to end this series. Mark Borowiecki, a team high +2. What is this world? This universe that we are currently living in. We are one win away from the Western Conference Finals as the Ducks have battled back from 2-1 down. Philadelphia have knocked out the top dogs in Pittsburgh. Boston 1 win away from meeting them in the final. So Pittsburgh is out. We are the top 2 teams remaining. Can we knock out the third best team in the regular season and punch our tickets to the Western Conference Final? Let's find out. Game 6. Here we go. As Matt Boldy scored 59 seconds into it, Patrick Kane scores again before I can even pause the damn thing. There's a 1-1 split. The rest of the first period. What the hell just happened? Oh my God. Does it feel like an elimination game? Matt Boldy scored, you knew that. Patrick Kane scored, you knew that. From there, Alex Nylander, Alex DeBrincat, Alex Nylander, Alex. One collective Alex. Matt Boldy scores again. He bookmarked, began the period, he ended the period. 4-2. 6 goals on 18 shots to begin this game. But we do have a 2-goal lead heading into the second period. We have the opportunity to end the series. Second period, goal apiece. Dominic Kubalik on the power play. Zach Parise gets one back. 5-3 is your final, or I wish your final. It sets the stage. What I was going to say in terms of final is we've seen a final score in the past where we've had 5 goals and lost. We've had 5 goals and won. This is going to be the tiebreaker. Will we be going to overtime? Will we be going to the Western Conference Final? Will there be a Game 7? Let's find out. Kirill Kaprizov scores on the power play in 52 seconds. Another power play. Kirill Kaprizov ties it at 5. Power play. Kaprizov scores again. Well, just when it looked like the Wild were going to choke. No, they're not. We're going to choke, and we're going to choke hard. 8-5 is the final score. 5 unanswered goals, technically 6 from Minnesota. They force Game 7. Good God. Penalty-wise, hooking on Kane, double minor high, sticking on Kane, hooking on Quenneville, hooking on Barrett. What a disaster. Kaprizov, third period hat trick. And for the second time in as many series, we're going to Game 7. How do you come back from a collapse? Jesus Christ, Corey. I don't know what happened and why Grice was in and out. Corey Crawford. I don't know if we can start Game 7. I don't know if we can go into Game 7 with you. The Anaheim Ducks await the winner of this series. Boston and Washington are off to a Game 7 as well, as the Rockford Ice Hogs advance past the Chicago Wolves in the Calder Cup playoffs. What the hell do we do here? Ian Mitchell is still out. who the hell do you start? Grice was so bad. Crawford was solid. But who the hell do you start? Especially after that bad of a performance from Crawford. I feel like it has to be Grice. We're not tethered to Crawford. Defensively, somehow Borowiecki is a +4. Marc-Edouard Vlasic has been brutal. Absolutely brutal. To the point where I know it seems like we're promoting him, and we basically are, but we need to change the first pairing and the third pairing, so it's going to be Vlasic, Pulock, Borowiecki, Jones, Mata, Boqvist. As insane as that is. Trust me, I know that's batshit insane. To be honest, I think we can make Pulock and Jones OFDs and be okay. I'm going to test that out and see if that gets us a chemistry boost. What a disastrous situation this is. That is the only way to put it. The only way to put it. On the verge, 4-2 at the end of the first period. 4 unanswered goals at one point. And we give up 6 unanswered goals after scoring the first goal of the second period. Game 7 is upon us. We survived against St. Louis. Could view it as they choked. This time, I think there's no doubt about it. I mean, granted, it's a battle between two really good teams, but I can't view it any other way as we choked if we do not walk away with the W here. And the funny thing is, I'd normally pull Borowiecki from the lineup. Honestly, though, I feel like I still have to. Because of the penalty minutes. I feel like Borowiecki's costing us because we can't kill penalties. When he's on the ice, he's okay. But he's still going to the box far too much. And also that overall hasn't bounced back. Mark Borowiecki will take a seat. We are going to go with Dennis Gilbert. Congrats on getting to play, buddy. You go straight into a very unenviable situation. As it is going to be Gilbert on the left. Don't really know where we're going to play him. Jones has to be on that second pairing. Pulock works out so well on that top unit. Boqvist is really only a good fit for the second line, but then it leaves Jones with really nowhere to play. So Boqvist will be there. And we are going to go with Gilbert. Because Gilbert's a DFD too, I didn't even notice. Rightfully so. He should be a defensive defenseman. We could make the switch if we had to. Mata's a really good fit there, although he's not a DFD. We need that boost to Gilbert. We're going to go... Vlasic and Pulock wasn't working as far as I remember. We're going to go Gilbert, Pulock, Vlasic, Jones, Mata, Boqvist. Forward-wise, God help me. That's my response. The fourth line will stay the same, I suppose. Offensively, they just haven't been as good. We re-signed Noshek, and I might take him out. I'm not overly happy with the penalty minutes, too, that we're seeing from the fourth liners. So right now, we are really risking seeing a ton of changes. I think David Kampf and Ryan Carpenter are going to get the call up here, and we're going to try something completely different on the fourth line. Now, I get, like, right now, some people are like, man, this is the team that got you here, trust them. It's just tough because if we lose here, we might miss our window of opportunity. The problem is, you know, you can look at a team and just be like, okay, clearly this isn't working. And that's what I got to go off of. Even if we have these guys signed the next year, I don't care. Because Milbury might trade them anyway or might tank their morale. We're making the change. David Kampf and Ryan Carpenter are going to be on the way up. And it's going to mess with Rockford's chemistry too, but I don't really care about their success. So we're going to go best lines. That fourth line now is probably going to be Carpenter in the middle. Yeah, Kampf, Carpenter, Entwistle. Could change them all to grinders or just change Carpenter to a grinder. And we'll see good development there. Let's actually do that really quickly. As it is another all or nothing situation here, isn't it? Funny how it always seems to come down to that, right? Right. We're going to go, Kampf is already good. Ryan Carpenter. Let's change you to a center grinder for the sake of going best lines. And we should see a +5 on that fourth line again. I imagine that would be the boost. At the very least, it's going to be a +3, but judging by the fact that nobody had a single negative, I'm guessing we're going to see a +5 again on that fourth line. From there, with the top 9, I have no idea. I mean, I might just base it off of stats. I mean, like, obviously, Patrick Kane's going to stay on that top line. But from there, I don't know. And indeed, we see a +5. So Kubalik, 10 points. Spectacular. Boone Jenner, definitely third line fodder. He hasn't been good enough. He hasn't been good enough. But there's been nobody better than him that deserves the bump up. Evan Barrett hasn't been great either. I'm surprised Evan Barrett hasn't been better. I really am. I'm tempted to give Alex Fortin the opportunity. You know what? I'm going to. It's a huge risk, but man, if players just aren't going to get it done, like I know we're going to 7, but again, there's warning signs. Like we gave Evan Barrett an opportunity. He has, 2 goals in this series? But 2 goals in 9 games. He's still not doing that well 5-on-5. As you can tell, again, the plus-minus is at least a decent indicator of that, even though, again, it's not the best stat in the world. We're going to call up Alex Fortin because, again, any morale issues or chemistry issues, that's out of my hands next season. And if it's in my hands, we can at least make the best of it. So Fortin will get the opportunity. He'll be on the third line with Kubalik and Jenner, although I don't know if we're going to keep Kubalik there. Doc, the penalty minute. Taves, the penalty minutes as well. Very concerning. I think we are going to go with Fortin, Jenner, Kubalik. Could change Kubalik to a 2-way. Might take away some of the offensive talent. But it would be worth it. Honestly, I think we're going to do that. He'll still be on the power play, and 2-ways can, of course, still put up points. But on that third line, touch into your defensive abilities just a little bit more, and we should be okay. Which means I'm pretty sure Dylan Strome is going to end up on the wing again, depending on what's happening with Jonathan Taves, which just doesn't... I don't know, because we had Strome on the wing before with Taves, and yet we're still losing games, but Kirby Dach was on the top line, so I really don't know what we're going to be looking at there. Boy, am I potentially starting to regret, or maybe already deeply regretting, the Boone Jenner contract, because damn. It hasn't been ideal. We could have trusted, that contract could have gone to goaltending. There's a chance Mike trades for a goalie anyway. It's just a matter of who he trades for. Okay. So the third line's looking a little bit better. Out of this top 6, 13 points for Nylander, 12 for Taves, and I mean a decent 13 for Doc. I think it's going to be, because DeBrincat can't play center, can he? 70. We'd be wasting too many good draw opportunities. Kane, Doc, DeBrincat, Strome, Taves, Nylander. That's going to be the go-to. So let's go best lines again because we changed up some player types and it might move some stuff around. There we go. And then defensively, and again, just to, fix this again, we're going to go Vlasic on that top pairing. Gilbert gets to play with Seth Jones as a bit of a safety net. And then goalie-wise, it's a risk. We are going with Thomas Greiss. Game 7 against the Wild. After all of that, did I make the right choice? Should I have stuck with the team? We have a huge offensive advantage. They have the slight defensive edge. And of course, on paper, they have the edge in goaltending. Here we go. Game 7. The winner moves on to play Anaheim, who won 3 straight games against Dallas in the Western Conference Final. First period, and the early advantage for Chicago. Alex DeBrincat on the power play. They outshot us. We outscored them. Second period, we still have the lead. 23 saves for Thomas Greiss thus far. 20 minutes away. Here we go. Will it be overtime? Will our season continue? Or will our season end? Let's find out. The next goal, of course, will be huge. It's Dennis Gilbert. All right, calm down. Dennis Gilbert. Oh, baby. We're halfway through the third. Come on now, please. I will be the smuggest son of a bitch if Dennis Gilbert just scored the insurance goal, if not the outright game winner. Thomas Greiss and the Chicago Blackhawks are moving on. I never want to hear, but the chemistry when you change people out. It works. Not all the time, but it's not an automatic loss either. Dennis Gilbert scores 35 saves for Thomas Greiss, you beautiful German man. The Chicago Blackhawks are going to be playing the Anaheim Ducks in the Western Conference Final. Shout out to my phone. Big fan of it. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. Thomas Greiss starts the series and ends the series. We are moving on. Somehow, some way. And in the East, it will be Philadelphia and Washington. Unbelievable turn of events in this episode and in that series. Patrick Kane doing well. Point per game, obviously. Doing well by his standards. You almost expect more. Kirby Dach's been great. DeBrinket's been great. Strome, he could heat up a little bit more. Taves, stay out of the box, please. Nylander's been great. Alex Fortin in the playoffs between the NHL and the AHL has been great. In that particular game, he was a +1. Didn't register a single shot, but I'll take it. Boone Jenner, offensively, it's been fine. Just, keep waking up defensively. Dominic Kubalik's been great. And on the fourth line, David Kampf hasn't had a very eventful postseason thus far, but had 3 shots in that game. Ryan Carpenter, it's been an interesting up and down journey for him. Mackenzie Entwistle as well. But defensively, despite Vlasic's numbers looking like that, Pulak's numbers, stay out of the box, please, looking like that. Dennis Gilbert scores his first ever NHL playoff goal. He took 5 shots that game playing alongside Seth Jones, who's been killing it. And Oli Mata and Boqvist, we need a little bit more. Goaltending-wise, we have to go with Greiss to start this, or we go with Crawford in game 1, and then regardless, Greiss starts game 2, because we've seen that Greiss can't start a series, but he can for damn sure end one. Controversial as it may be, the decision to drop Barrett, the decision to drop Quenneville and Nosek, and on defense, drop Borowiecki, it paid off. We survived. We lived to see another day. And now we are halfway home, 4 wins away from an appearance in the Stanley Cup Final, as the Rockford Ice Hogs, coincidentally, will be playing the Ducks' AHL affiliate, the San Diego Gulls. It's organizational warfare. In the next episode, I will see you then, I hope. Thank you very much for watching. You know the deal. Support the video, support the channel, check out everything in the description, and a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon for your extreme generosity that, of course, is so greatly appreciated. There should be a new episode up of the Patreon exclusive franchise mode series soon, and a new one will also be starting up relatively soon. So, yeah, look forward to that. I will catch you all next time. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy, and goodbye.